So you can see I'm bundled up today because we're going to talk about how to survive Whidbey Island in the winter. It is no surprise to anybody who's researching moving to the Pacific Northwest that they are going to be dealing with a lot less sunshine in the winter. It's not just rain that we have to worry about, it's because we are so far north that the sun just sets earlier and comes up later in the winter compared to the rest of the country, compared to lower latitudes. How do we survive on Whidbey? So it really did take some getting used to, and I'll be honest, I struggle with it almost every year. A lot of people actually really suffer from the seasonal affective disorder. I think that's what it is, sad, right? And they just straight up leave Whidbey Island during the winter. And I get it. And if the kids weren't in school and we didn't have this property to maintain, I probably would too. Maybe it's in our future. But in order to kind of get through it and not lose my mind, here are some strategies that I have found for living on Whidbey Island that really make a difference. So first things first, build your community. So that has been the biggest saving grace of winters here, is not only maintaining relationships with friends that you can invite over for movie nights or for just like winter snuggling, solstice-y type events, or like just sitting in your pajamas and having a glass of wine. Those are all really important things, at least for me, to get through the winter. But then forcing myself to get out is critical. So the first thing about forcing myself to get out is making sure I step outside every day when the sun is shining, even when it's not shining brightly, but get that vitamin D, get that direct light on my face as early as humanly possible in the morning. So I try to go to the gym 3 days a week. And when I'm driving there, it's usually light, or it's light when I leave the gym if I go too early. But I try to get that morning light on my face. And then there are 5 million ways to get involved on Whidbey Island. I always making sure that I have some sort of, like right now I'm on the board of a nonprofit, but in the past I've done different like book groups, book clubs, or other activities that kind of like I have to commit myself to that get me through. Having kids makes it a little bit easier because when they're school-age kids, you have lots of either sports or school programs. A lot of people struggle with driving in the dark, so it's important to have community of all ages and abilities, because I know a lot of people like my mom who gets a ride to her events from other people, which is great. I'm not gonna lie, getting away from the island is definitely a big part of that, like surviving winter. So when we are scheduling out our family year and we're looking at trips, I am always trying to get one on the books for February. So the holidays happen, there's lots of to do and lots of great things happening in the holidays. And then January hits and it's like a recovery from the holidays. But by the time we get to February, things are feeling a little glum and the light really hasn't started to return totally. So I always making sure we have a trip in February, not this year because we're doing some work on the house, but most years I try to do that. And then by the time we get into March and April, the bulbs are starting to shoot up through the ground. So that's a hot tip, plant bulbs in the fall so that it gets you through those months of March and April, because every time you go outside, something else is coming up. And then once you're through April, yes, you may have like some more rain and a little bit more darkness than you want in May, but there's enough signs, it's great. Those are my hot tips for getting through the winter on Whidbey Island. I know you will have some ideas too and some thoughts about what gets you through the winter, so please comment below, like and subscribe to this channel, download my Relocating to Whidbey Island if you're thinking about doing that, and if you'd like to chat, I love kind of zero obligation, no stress consultations with anybody that's thinking about anything Whidbey Island, so hit me up. I'll see you soon.